Next up is the passing, and because not a single person commented, except for a guy that said, "So true," we're going to be doing the passing next. I'm just going to alternate between Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. I started with 2, and then I'll go to 1, and then back to 2. So next would be Crash Course. Unless, however, I see, I guess, any comment that tells me the next campaign to do, and then I'll do that campaign and explain my thoughts and my strategies like we're doing today in the passing. So with the intro out of the way, let's move on to the guide. Just like with the No Mercy finale, I think it's important to realize whether it's an offensive or defensive finale. Due to the fact that we can get the gas cans at our own speed to the generator and we're not waiting on anything, tells us that this is an offensive finale. Another example of an offensive finale would be Dead Center, where in Dead Center, it was ideal to move as quickly as possible as to prevent any extra special infected from spawning that could potentially throw our run. However, this finale is different from Dead Center, in the sense that it's not as open and there's not a straightforward route. So the question is, what is the most efficient route to get the gas cans to the generator? I think this is what separates Dead Center's atrium to the passing's port the most. Getting the gas cans to the goal point isn't as straightforward as it would be for Dead Center. A strategy that I found works for this finale is to loop around all of the double gas can spawns and then back to the start. What this strategy lets us do is follow the same rule set that we had for Dead Center, where doubling back is your worst enemy. Mainly due to the fact that the longer you're in the game, more things spawn in, more chances to lose, more time spent. It's a snowball effect that can be completely avoided by focusing on minimizing the distance you're traveling. Another really good rule to follow is to shut down threats before they get in too close. Really anything, if given the opportunity, can shut down your entire run. This is the main reason why it is important to take things out before they get in near you, because the closer they are to you, the more opportunities they have to corner you. And getting out of this isn't always impossible. However, it's just safer and more efficient to prevent it from happening in the first place. What you're seeing on the screen currently is me consolidating the first half of the gas cans. I see it as a visual half point before the tank spawns. The tank spawning severely slows down our progress, requiring us to put a lot more effort into dodging the tank than moving the gas cans, which then in turn makes us waste even more time, causing even more special infected to spawn in. Focusing all of our attention on either one is bad, because if we let the tank get in too close, he can end our run, but if we take too long, then something else can end our run. I think a healthy balance of the two is ideal, so you're making progress, but not ignoring the tank. The main way that I tend to do this is just lighting the tank on fire and then focusing on the gas cans, as the gas cans are usually far enough away, so as the process of going and getting the gas cans helps me dodge the tank by itself. The only time I really need to focus on the tank is when he's getting really close to me, like right here, where I need to find an escape route before I can keep focusing on making progress. In this example, it was looping him around the dumpster until I found an opening. However, there will be other examples in other finales, such as jumping off one catwalk to another, like in Dead Center's atrium. Since he's positioned in a way that prevents me from getting to my gas cans, I just need to loop him around until he gets out of the way. I do pour a little bit more damage on with the shotgun, just so I can get back to my original speed. Now that he's behind me, I could focus on moving the gas cans to the generator. Doing this now, instead of when he was in front of me, just kills two birds with one stone, instead of me having to dodge the tank up close and risking losing the run. This is the part where moving the gas cans becomes more straightforward, because all I have to do is not get hit by the tank. Do remember that adrenaline greatly increases the speed at which you can put gas cans in the generator. Once you have them all down there, it can take minimum 20 seconds to put all the gas cans in. 20 seconds is more than enough time for something to catch you off guard if you're not paying attention. Using an adrenaline beforehand minimizes this window. Adrenaline speeds up all actions by 50%, making the adrenaline invaluable for our purpose. The last step of any scavenge finale is to move all of the gas cans to the goalpost. Whenever you're playing with teammates, this can be done more efficiently by opting one person to stay near the generator, so that by the time you find all of the gas cans and move them to the generator, they're already in and you can just go. The main issue with doing something like this is that the person at the generator is by themselves, making them a lot more vulnerable to special infected than if they were with a team. Something else that speeds up putting all the gas cans in is putting them as close to the nozzle as possible. This makes it so there's less dead space in between gas cans, which in turn prevents more infected spawns than necessary. The rest of the finale at this point is pretty much a victory lap, as all we need to do now is prevent things from getting too close to us. The main thing I would listen for here is spitters and smokers. Spitters can revert all of our progress at this point, and smokers are hard to deal with unless you have direct line of sight of them. I've seen a lot of people at this point just drop their guard and run to the rescue vehicle. Separating here is very bad, because if someone were to be attacked, it would be harder to get them back and they might end up being left behind. So wait until everyone is ready to get into the rescue vehicle. This smoker and spitter spawn could have easily ended my run if I was just staring at the car and holding W. W. At this point in a regular campaign, there will be a lot of common infected swarming you on this bridge. Using a boomerbile or pipe bomb can relieve that pressure, or even buy you enough time to just run to the rescue vehicle. These offensive finales take the original gameplay and flip it on its head. They require the player to focus on their own gameplay instead of reacting to what's attacking them. I feel the most important detail of this video is that efficiency should always be prioritized. Focusing on minimizing dead space is what lets you outpace the infected in Left 4 Dead 2. And that is my guide for the passing finale. Be sure to let me know in the comments on the next finale that you want to see. With that being said, I wish everyone a wonderful rest of their day.
Hey, I got first aid kit if somebody needs it. Guess this shit's old, huh?